All right, we're going to call the meeting to order. Please join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. And now the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have a draft agenda. Can I have a motion to approve?
I move.
Kelly, and support?
I support.
Christy, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Aye. Okay. Up first is recognition. Dr. Matthews?
Thank you. Tonight we have our annual Examples in Excellence, and so we will have our video, and then I believe we have certificates for the awardees as well.
Belmont Elementary is proud to have Miley Meyering represent our school as the 2024 Example of Excellence recipient. Miley is the daughter of Megan and Jeff Meyering. She has one sibling, her brother Gabe, and many pets that include her dog Tucker, her cat Bentley, and her bunny Riley. Miley is a student that truly brings joy to our school. She is positive, helpful, and always has a smile on her face. Staff report that Miley is always one to do the right thing and looks out for others on the playground, in the lunchroom, in hallway, or in class. Miley is very involved at Belmont. She is a member of our student council, member of our friendship group, and is a kindergarten bus buddy. She has even been known to volunteer during her recess time in our third grade classrooms. Miley has a quiet strength and a love for learning, and she makes Belmont a better place. Congratulations to Miley and her family.
I'd like to say I'm positive and I'm kind and I'm hardworking and I make good choices. I'm involved in student council, friendship group, kindergarten safeties, and I help out third grader teachers. I spread kindness and lift people's moods. Good job. Thanks.
Mabel DeVries is Cannonsburg Elementary's Example in Excellence for the 2024 school year. Mabel is a fifth grader whose parents are Chris and Beth DeVries. Mabel has a sister, Betsy, in second grade. Mabel possesses all the qualities someone looks for in an Example in Excellence student. She is kind, compassionate, and caring to everyone she comes in contact with. Mabel is a friend to everyone. Her kindness and zest for finding the good in all things makes enjoying her company so much more fun. This year, Mabel has been part of the Cannonsburg Battle of the Books team. She has also been part of the fifth grade spelling bee. Her hard work paid off in the spelling bee as she was runner-up in the competition. Outside of school, Mabel loves to take care of her three animals. She loves going for walks with Roger, her Bernese mountain dog. Mabel's two cats, Furry and Millie, keep her busy each day. Mabel plays tennis and field hockey and is looking to start playing basketball. Mabel loves to bake and read in her free time. Mabel is always interested in getting more involved in school-related activities and cannot wait to see what middle school offers. Congratulations to Mabel DeVries, Cannonsburg Elementary's Example of Excellence 2024.
I think that I am encouraging them and always being kind, I hope. And also I hope that I'm always saying please and thank you and being kind and generous to others. And I hope that I'm always being grateful. Well, I hope that I'm kind and generous and also a little bit funny too.
Noah Ballinger is a fifth grader at Crestwood Elementary and is the 2023-2024 Example of Excellence. His parents are Emily and Matt Ballinger. Noah has one sister, Lily. Noah is a quiet, optimistic, and responsible student. He is always willing to go the extra mile to help others, and he attacks challenges with a good attitude. Noah will go out of his way to make others feel included and works well with anyone he comes in contact with here at school and in athletics. Noah participates in our safeties program, working with DK, kindergarten and second grade students. He has received the Rocking Reader Award. He plays basketball, baseball, and he is a leader on his football team. In his spare time, he likes to play with his friends and spend time with his family. We will miss Noah's positive attitude and growth mindset, here at Crestwood next year. We wish him all the best as he moves on to middle school. Congratulations, Noah Ballinger.
Something I really like doing here at Crestwood is doing safeties. I'm with one of my good friends, Rowan, and I'm kind. I like doing sports. I'm athletic and cool. So for baseball, if they don't know how to play a position, I'll go up to them and teach them. And same for football and basketball. In school, if they don't know anything and if I'm done with it and I know how to do it real well, I'll teach them it.
The Lakes Elementary School 2023-24 example in excellent is Wesley Daniel. Wesley Daniel is the son of Samantha Daniel and Levi Phelps. The word that comes to mind when I think about Wesley is overcomer. Wesley has learned and grown tremendously and has made leaps and bounds in his academic career since he's been a student at Lakes. Wesley is described as a kind student. He's a friend to everyone. He is sensitive and helpful, and he's ready to help a lending hand to those in need. When you have a few minutes to sit down with Wesley, he'll perform tricks for you and pretend that he's a magician, and he'll try to get a smile out of all that he meets. Outside of school, Wesley is enjoying wrestling and baseball in the spring. His hard work is evident. He strives to do his very best, and he advocates for himself when he has a question or gets confused in his learning. Wesley's creative. He'll talk about his singing and his acting. I wouldn't be surprised to see him on stage someday. When you think about Wesley overall, you think a bubbly ball of joy.
So like those qualities, like I've been like very good at listening, even though I do have ADHD. So like when everyone is like talking, I raise like a level 1 up to make sure, but so everyone can see, and like I'm like quiet when I get to the carpet. Accomplishments are like I want to thank my teachers because they helped me learn so much, like multiplication. There we are. So like they helped me learn. I thought I could never do that, but someone helped me. Mrs. Baird helped me through it, and I learned multiplication. So like whenever they like feel sad or anything, like they like giving up hope, I just like encourage them to keep moving. So like in wrestling, someone was like just walking around when we were supposed to be jogging, so I told them, come on, we gotta jog, come on.
Just a terrific chance for Meadowridge to honor Isaiah Sinkfield. He's historically been very self-motivated and hardworking. He's a positive role model for others. He gives off a welcoming, calming, and warm presence. It just makes other people feel comfortable, included, and respected. He's mature beyond his years and does a wonderful job helping his peers problem solve and encouraging them to do the right thing. He is so well liked by his peers. When this was announced, the entire 5th grade student body was thrilled that we had done a great job in selecting a perfect example of what being a Meadowridge Monarch represents. Isaiah leads by example and encourages others to be the best version of themselves. He's a fantastic basketball player and plays community ed and is often seen practicing outside of practice to strengthen his skills. He's a multi-sport athlete. I think he plays like 5 different sports. He is very modest and unassuming. Outside of school, he is one of the most social kids you're ever going to find. He's often walking around town and helping his family be the best that they can. And Isaiah loves to socialize with everyone, and especially his cousins, who are a big influence on him. And he's just selfless, humble, and a remarkable friend, and we're very, very proud of Isaiah.
I'm nice to people. If people get hurt, I go get an aid, and I don't bully. I went 6-0 in one of my basketball seasons, and I got this award. I help them whenever they need help, and I'm nice to them.
Parkside Elementary's 2024 Example in Excellence is Emma Marker. She is the daughter of Melissa and David and the oldest of 3 children. Her younger sister, Mackenzie, attends Parkside and is in 3rd grade. Emma has a younger sister at home named Charlotte. Emma is a dedicated student. She works hard daily and does her personal best. When teachers were asked about her work ethic, she was described as hardworking, determined, persistent, and, quote, wonderfully serious. Emma describes her greatest strength as being able to pick up new learning very quickly. Her favorite subject is math, and she loves learning new concepts. Outside of school, Emma loves to go on family walks and bike rides. She participates in Girls on the Run and competes competitively on a travel soccer team. Emma says it feels good when hard work pays off, and this has been shown by her improvement in soccer. Only a few years ago, she started playing at the Y and has moved up to more competitive teams every year due to her hard work. Well, Emma's hard work pays off again as she is recognized as Parkside Elementary's example in excellence for the 2024 school year.
I'm very good at persevering and I don't like to give up. In third grade, my team got first place in a math competition. I'm kind and I think that I'm very true to what I think, but if you give me a good reason to change my mind, I will listen.
It's my pleasure to announce this year's Rockwood Example of Excellence, Drew Wilbur. Drew Wilbur is a fifth grader that both staff and students see as a role model. He expresses genuine concern for all those around him and spreads happiness. He loves to show his appreciation by writing cards and giving gifts. He gives his time of help whenever it is needed. Drew is the first to volunteer to help others, and he prides himself in being present. Those around him say that he is kind and works hard. He's a member of our student council and he hopes to improve the student experience for others. He has been a safety in the mornings, helping students, holding doors, and greeting them, welcoming them to our school each and every day. This year he has helped be bus buddy with our younger students and also assists in the lunchroom for anyone that needs help. Drew has the biggest heart and a genuine desire to help everyone feel loved and included. We are proud that Drew Wilbur is our example of excellence this year here at Rockwood Elementary.
Well, I think some of the qualities that made me example of excellence was just kind acts and trying my best. I think I try to utilize all my skills and then I try to be nice and just supporting them, I guess.
I am thrilled to announce Valley View's 2023-2024 Example in Excellence as Lucy O'Rourke. Lucy is a remarkable fifth grade student who embodies everything that we hope for in a young leader: positivity, kindness, and incredible work ethic. Her presence in the classroom is like a ray of sunshine, brightening the day for both her classmates and teachers. Beyond her academic achievements, Lucy is an accomplished dancer with 7 years of dedication to her craft. Additionally, she finds joy in spending time with her family, engaging in activities like shoe shopping, and drawing with her little sister. But Lucy's talents don't stop there. She's also a gifted athlete, excelling in sports like softball, volleyball, and basketball. Her well-rounded abilities and strong family values make her a true standout. As the principal at Valley View, I couldn't be prouder of Lucy's accomplishments and the person that she is becoming. She is an inspiration to us all, and we look forward to seeing her continuing to thrive in the years to come.
Well, I think I'm very helpful with others, and I'm not I don't think I'm mean to anyone. I'm always very positive and never really negative, and I just like to be at school and I have a lot of fun. I do dance every night, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and I altar serve at church, and I make a difference in others when I am very positive and I put in the work and I don't fall behind and stuff, and I lift them up when they're down.
Mr. Jaden Fudge is the son of Ron and Rebecca Fudge, and as a principal at East Rockford, I couldn't be more excited to present Jaden to not only our school community, but the community as a whole. It was a resounding yes when I recommended Jaden to teachers as our example in excellence. And every teacher emailed me back with their perspectives and their feedback. And the one I'm going to read you captures pretty much everything that all the other teachers said. And this one is from Mrs. Chris Lyon. I could not think of a more deserving 8th grade student than Jaden Fudge to receive this recognition. Jaden sets high standards for himself, and he works hard to achieve them. He takes pride in his work and is consistently seeking to improve and make those around him strive to do better as well. Jaden's commitment to his academics, extracurricular activities, and his classmates is truly commendable. Jaden is one of the kindest and most caring young men I've ever met here at East. Jaden's smile can brighten anyone's day, and he embodies positivity and enthusiasm. He's truly a compassionate person who is always willing to lend a helping hand. East Rockford was made a better place because of Jaden and the time he spent here over the course of 3 years. Thank you, Mrs. Chris Lyon. That pretty much sums it up for Jaden Fudge.
I'm kind, I guess. I like to have fun. I'm caring, and I'm pretty passionate. I'm pretty fun, sometimes careless, but I know how to lock it in. I make a difference by showing I care for them, helping them through stuff, and just helping them have a good life.
Congratulations to Keegan Molko.
who is North Rockford Middle School's example in excellence. Keegan is the daughter of Corey and Betsy Molka. Keegan has 5 siblings: Avery, Clara, Laurel, Cole, and Calvin. Keegan is a student who is not only hardworking, but she is also a leader. At North Rockford Middle School, she's in our National Junior Honor Society. She is also a peer mentor, and she mentors a 6th grade student in all subjects. And she also has participated in our buddies classes or our leadership classes and working with students with special needs. Keegan has many achievements at North Rockford Middle School that she can be proud of. She is in girls cross country, and she currently is a record holder for our 2-mile run. She participates in orchestra, and she has earned a blue ribbon 2 times for exemplary performances. She is the captain of the cross-country team. She is a student who's energetic, she's positive, she's hardworking, she's a student athlete, and she loves to be friends with everyone. She is a true example in excellence for North Rockford Middle School.
I'm hardworking because I always thrive to get the best I can. I am loyal because I always am there for my friends no matter what. I participate in cross country and track. I help out and volunteer for summer running clubs. I babysit my family and my neighbors' kids. I make a difference in my friends and family's lives by being the oldest in my family, so I'm a role model to all my siblings. I make a difference in my friends' lives by helping them with things that they may struggle with, and I tutor students who are having a hard time with some subjects and to just help them achieve their goals and to thrive as a student and person.
Ivana Teal is a 10th grade student at Rockford High School and has been selected as the example in excellence for special services. Ivana is very deserving of this recognition. She is a kind, caring, and thoughtful person and truly embodies these characteristics with everyone that she encounters. She is always the first person to ask someone how they are doing, and she enjoys greeting others and making them feel welcome in the classroom. Ivana is also a compassionate friend and gets along very well with peers. She truly cares about others and will go out of her way to help anyone in need. Another thing that makes Ivana deserving of this recognition is her dedication to academics. Academics does not come easily for her, yet she has demonstrated so much success this school year because of her attitude and work ethic and all of the hard work that she has put in. She will always put her best effort into what she does, and the growth that she has experienced this school year is because of this hard work. Outside of school, Ivana loves to attend Rockford basketball games and other sporting events. Congratulations, Ivana. You are truly deserving of this recognition, and we are lucky to have you as a student at RPS.
Ivana does a lot of things after school. She goes to basketball games, softball games. She's always inviting her teachers, other classmates with her to attend those games, which is so nice. Her smile, her kindness, again, just so caring to those. Always asking how you're doing, how was your day? You know, concerned if you're having a bad day or maybe had a rough day. She's always there to just support and talk.
I'm proud of AP Seminar because it's been such a challenge and I'm almost done with it.
Rockford Freshman Center is pleased to recognize Mono as the example in excellence for this year. He's the son of Russell and Wasana and has a sister in 5th grade named Mary. Teachers had no problem identifying Mono as a leader and example in our building. They went on and on about his positive attributes, one going so far as to write, "I wish I could bottle and sell what he has." He's kind, he gives his best effort in everything, he's dedicated, and he's humble. His teachers describe Mono as a very, very helpful student in the classroom to his peers. He is very involved in co-curricular activities such as choir, performances in the musical. He earned a scholarship to Blue Lake. He is committed to his family, his peers, his academics, his church, and the community, and that's evident in how he conducts himself each and every day. Despite all of these things that he does in our building, he's incredibly humble. He leads his peers by example, and his humble demeanor is truly something special. So congratulations, Mono, and to your family as well.
My extracurricular activities are doing Newsies Junior at the high school, going to drama club, and then I also volunteer at the city church. I'm proud of my family for supporting me and for my friends that I made. I make a difference in others by helping people with their assignments and studying with them for tests.
Daniel Smith is River Valley Academy's example in excellence. Daniel is the son of Rhonda and Dan Smith.
Daniel has one sister, Alexis. Daniel has been selected by his teachers for this award as Daniel is patient, respectful, and responsible. An officer of RVA's student leadership team, Daniel has had to adapt as student plans, schedules, and needs vary. Daniel serves as the treasurer of this group. Daniel shows a willingness to go out of his way to help others. When asked how he has demonstrated making a difference in the lives of others, Daniel says, "Being a part of SLT allows me to bring my student perspective to our plans and to give my peers the best opportunities." Daniel serves as a role model to his fellow students by maintaining good attendance and making progress in his courses. Academically, Daniel is in his second year at the Kent Career Tech Center, where he attends the aviation program. In addition, he's dual enrolled in classes with Ferris State University. Most of Daniel's free time is spent with friends and family. Daniel also enjoys working on cars and remote control cars. Daniel Smith, River Valley Academy's 2023-2024 Example in Excellence.
I guess you can count KCTC, Kent Career Tech Center. I'm in there for aviation. I'm currently doing a project on a plane right now, redoing all the wiring and checking, make sure that it's even good and everything. I'm a pretty calm person. I'm a good listener and whatnot, and I just like to be there for others in general, so I'll go with the flow. I make a difference by being part of SLT. I like to try to bring in everyone's perspective at the school to try to get the best outcome of everything that falls in within the lines of the board.
Micah Frost. Micah has demonstrated excellence in the classroom, commitment to his community, and a love for sports, fine arts, family, and friends. Micah has incredible academic achievements. He has a passion for learning and strives to challenge himself every day in the courses that he takes at Rockford High School. He has definitely worked hard to achieve a 4.13 GPA and has received recognition as Student of the Month and earned the Principal's Honor Roll designation. He's also heavily involved outside the classroom, where he's captain of the varsity tennis team, as well as a conference and regional champion, earning all-state honorable mention honors. He's a section leader in the men's advanced a cappella group, the Rockford Aces, and a member of the boys' varsity volleyball team, as well as earning leading roles in our musical production at RHS. Lastly, he's an extraordinary young man. Micah constantly looks for ways to give back and support people within the community. He's been a member of the peer listening group and has volunteered at Kids Food Basket. There's no doubt that Micah can accomplish anything he sets his mind to and will make a positive impact to many lives. Congratulations, Micah.
Something at school that I'm involved in is this a cappella group called the Rockford Aces. I'm a section leader in this group, and a cappella pretty much means that we don't have any music in the background. It's just our voices in the music. And I've been a part of it for 4 years now, and it is a big part of my high school life at Rockford. Some extracurricular activities that I do at Rockford outside of ACES are tennis and volleyball. And this year I also did the winter musical, which was Mamma Mia, and I played Sam, which is one of the dads. My friends would describe me as outgoing and energetic, and I think funny too. And I think they would describe me as empathetic too. I like to be the kind of person to check in on them and make sure that they're doing good.
Trina Verano. Trina has many great qualities that make her deserving of this award. First of all, she's a fantastic young lady. She exemplifies inclusivity and is such a positive presence in many people's lives. Next, she's a great student. Trina works very hard every day in the classroom and strives to challenge herself with many rigorous honors and AP courses. She has definitely worked very hard to achieve a 4.356 GPA. And has earned the distinguished role of Executive Director of our student-run Beyond the Rock TV channel, where she led our students to High School TV Station of the Year for the Michigan Broadcasting Association. She has also been awarded 16 MAB Student Awards and 3 Student Grammys. Trina is also heavily involved outside the classroom. She volunteers as a soccer coach through SCORE's Junior Academy, and doing all of this while holding down a job as a management position at a local shop in downtown Rockford. As you can see, she truly has her priorities straight. By continuing to do what she is doing, Trina is sure to have a bright future ahead of her and will no doubt improve the lives of others. Congratulations, Trina.
Qualities that make me an example of excellence are I'm very personable, I can talk with anybody. Something I'm proud of is being able to create projects in the Beyond the Rock program that have been recognized on a state level, as well as seeing my team come together to win Station of the Year for the 10th year in a row. Videos that I have made in the Beyond the Rock program were made with the purpose to bring light to important topics and highlight issues in our community that need to be talked about.
All right, so we've got some certificates. When I call your name, come on up. Starting with Miley Myring. Mabel DeVries. Noah Bellinger. Jaden Fudge. Congratulations. Wesley Daniel. Isaiah Sinkfield. Congratulations. Keegan Mocha. Emma Marker. Congratulations. Daniel Smith. Narang Basham. Ivana Teal. Micah Frost. Trina Verano. Drew Wilbur. Lucy O'Rourke. We'll do photographs, so if anybody would like to grab a photo, we'll. So if you want to squeeze the kind of the center. Slide in so we get everybody in, get nice and crowded. Anybody wants a little photo?
Who wants chairs?
We'll make it look good. All right. Congratulations. Okay, up next on our agenda is our consent agenda items. We have 4 of those this evening. Approval of minutes from our May meeting, presentation of bills in the amount of $11.467 million, certified staff resignations, and the athletics golf cart purchase. Can I have a motion to approve our consent agenda items?
I move.
Saw Nick's hand go up.
Beat me to it.
Support.
I'll second.
Kelly, support. All in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Thanks, everybody. New business number 1, our MHSAA resolution. Dr. Matthews?
Thank you. The MHSAA requires each school board who participates in MHSAA activities throughout the course of a school year to pass a resolution voicing their support for the MHSAA and to abide by their rules. And so this is the MHSAA resolution for the 2024-25 school year.
Thank you. And can I have a motion to approve the resolution? Nick's hand went up and
Second.
Got Tricia on support. Any questions? And we'll do a roll call for this one. Yep. Okay. Go ahead and call the roll.
Tricia Henderson? Yes. Krista Ramsey?
Yes.
Jared?
Yes.
I forgot your name there, Frank. Yes. Nick Reichenbach, Deb Barmouth? Yes.
Thank you. Up next is our administrator contract renewals. Dr. Matthews?
Dr. Wilson-Crop?
Thank you, Dr. Matthews. Every year in the spring, the district, when we receive our annual evaluations for administrators, bring a recommendation to the board to engage in a rolling contract renewal for those administrators. You'll see here statutorily, the longest you can extend someone's contract is 3 years. So depending on the role, there would be a recommendation for a 3 or a 2 year, and those contracts would then roll for 2 additional or 3 additional years, depending. So you can see the list here in front of you. It's a standard course of business, but we do need to bring it to you for approval based on that recommendation. So Dr. Matthews, that would be the recommendation.
So you have the recommendation for administrative contract renewals, and we would ask the board to approve that.
Okay, thank you. Motion to approve.
I move.
Kelly, and support. Christy, any questions? Okay, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Aye. Thanks, everybody. Next item is our superintendent contract.
Thank you. Per the terms of the contract that I signed in April of 2022, the board, the contract shall be automatically extended for successive periods of 1 year after each June 30th, unless the board provides notice by April 1st of that year that the board does not intend to extend or renew. So it goes on to say that the contract shall be paid at the same rate as in effect at the time of the extension, unless the board and superintendent agree to a different rate of compensation. So per the terms of the contract, with the appropriate notice given, the contract will now extend through the 26-27 school year. And in addition, I would ask the board to agree to increase in pay based on that would be in line with what other administrators are receiving, which is in line with the REA and RESPA agreements.
Very good. Motion to approve.
I move.
Kelly, support. Christy, any questions?
I just want to state that the compensation increase is in line with Kent County, and that the board feels that it's important to recognize Dr. Matthews' excellent work in line with other superintendents in our area.
Thanks, Kelly. Yep, I couldn't agree more. Anybody else? Okay, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
That's everybody. Thank you very much. Into old business, number 1, spring policy, second reading.
So Dr. Wilson Crawford will explain this, but this is the second reading. It went before the policy committee and then came to the board in May, and now this is the second reading. So we'll let Dr. Wilson Crawford kind of summarize the board policies that are coming for approval tonight.
Thank you. You will find 8 policies for approval or revision based on our partner Neola. I did not receive any further questions about these board policies. There was an initial question about policy 8800 that I think we discussed a little bit at our last meeting. Most of the edits that you'll see are simply minutia, right? We're changing things from he and she to they, or they're changing the wording on some things, and we're making those recommendations so that our board continues a regular renewal of our policies. That way we're always having them on a cycle where we're reviewing them, ensuring that they're in line with new Michigan school code, federal law, things like that. And so you'll see here what those policies look like. One specific policy to highlight would be the animals on district property policy. So if you look at that policy specifically, you'll see that our policy actually differs a little bit from Neola's policy, primarily because of our commitment to using counseling dogs in our classroom environments and in our school buildings. So we do have a little bit of a policy change that differs from what Neola's recommended, but what you see here is what our policy will be with those counseling dogs in place, and so it's in line with that. Any questions about any of the policies? Is there anything I can clarify?
Questions?
Mine were answered in round 1. So.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Can I have a motion to approve the policy changes? Tricia, and support Christy. Yep. Any other questions or discussion? Okay. All in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's everybody. Thanks very much.
And then these policies will be uploaded to the website as quickly as they can be by Neola.
It usually takes about a week. So we'll submit them tomorrow morning, and then it takes about a week.
Very good. Okay, moving on then to reports item 1, Rams 12. Dr. Matthews?
Thank you. So in the fall of 1989, Dr. Scheibler and the Rockford Public Schools began a strategic planning process called the Rockford Action Models for Success, or RAMS. Every 3 years since, the district has taken time to re-engage and think about our future. We currently have a guiding document, RAMS 11. RAMS 11 was approved by the Board of Education on December 13, 2021. Originally scheduled to be our blueprint through December 2024, a decision was made to accelerate the strategic plan so that a new document could be in place by August of 2024. This was done to take advantage of several new beginnings in our district. New elementary attendance boundaries, Edgerton Trails Elementary School opening, new construction coming online, the Roguewood Gym, the North Rockford Middle School addition, the 6th grade wing and the orchestra room, the Valley View additions, elimination of the portables, plus the new bus loop, and the transportation building. New classroom furniture to enhance student learning as a result of the 2019 bond. All new teacher workstations throughout the district. New student furniture being installed throughout the district as well. While strategic plans are often seen as documents that sit in binders upon a shelf, this has never been the case here in Rockford. The very name, RAMS Action Model for Success, crafts out strategic plan as an action document. But what exactly is the RAMS document supposed to do? A strategic planning document does several things. First, it helps cast a vision. The vision for a school district looks ahead. It states what we're trying to do, what we're trying to be, what we're trying to build. A vision represents what we believe is our best intention. The vision is supported by a mission. The mission identifies what we must do in order to live into our vision. If we are to achieve our vision, what must we do? From there, we identify the building blocks, defined in RAMS 12 as our pillars and priorities. These identify where we are placing our flag, what we are saying we will build around in order to fulfill our mission and live into our vision. The pillars and priorities establish a framework. When approved by the board, the staff, in collaboration with the board, families, community members, and students, will draft specific action steps needed to support these pillars and priorities. Tonight, we want to present to the Board of Education, our staff, and to our community, the first draft of our RAMS 12. This is introduced to the board as a draft. Over the next several weeks, we will meet with board members to discuss, to review, to identify our intent, and to ask the board if there are missing pieces. Drafting a strategic plan takes a lot of work. Tonight, you will see how the administrative team crafted a plan that created opportunity for community, staff, student, and parent input. How that input was examined and used to develop the framework that you have before you this evening. It is hoped that over the next several weeks, we will, with board input, finalize the RAMS 12 document so that it can be approved in August and be used as a guiding document for the district moving forward. Tonight, Mr. Ram, Ms. Jacobs, and Dr. Wilson Crawford will kind of walk you through our strategic planning process, and then we will get to next steps, and I'll summarize, and then we'll ask if there are any questions as we move forward. Mr. Ram.
First, we'd like to maybe just start with a little bit of what's familiar and what's new with the strategic planning process. So obviously, RAMS has had a long-standing tradition, as Dr. Matthews outlined, in our district. And so one of the core values is that we set a course for 3 years. And that course walks our student experience, our staff experience, our partnership with the community, our partnership with parents towards a path of excellence. So we have high expectations for everything that we want to do, and that's been the tradition and expectation, and that we will continue. We also know that we want to gather input from all of the stakeholder groups, not only in our community, but also staff and students. So we, again, we'll talk a little bit about some of those results, but gathered input through surveys and then also through dialogues with different groups in numerous occasions, and gathered some real key themes. We took, again, same way, our administrative team, and we asked our administrative team to help us consolidate some information. So then that shapes what were the kind of the big pieces of it. And then we looked at the idea that we're really trying to think about a meaningful roadmap, something that, as Dr. Matthews says, as consistent from the past, is going to shape our future and shape our behaviors and our decision making. What's a little bit different? Well, Dr. Matthews alluded to this idea of pillars and priorities. So in the past, we've had some of our goal statements or our action items arranged by department. So the curriculum would do this, and human resources would do this, and finance had these targets. And so those are embedded in our work, but you'll see them across all of our 5 pillars. And so that's something that I think the format may look a little bit different. We have action items under these pillars arranged by the content area that the survey and that our stakeholder groups told us were important. And so the last piece is that we want to make sure that any wording or any action items in the plan can be articulated all the way through our system and understood from a community perspective, understood from a parent perspective. We can point to an example in an elementary school where we're doing this work, or we're doing this at the high school, and it can really shape our decision making. So you'll see a little bit of that as we unravel a little bit of the information, and of course throughout this process. When we look at the timeline, of course, as Dr. Matthews said, we started this fall. And so that survey went out to the community and to our staff and to our students. From there, we looked at the data and we started to think around, what did the survey say? And what are some of the big themes that we can then bring people together in focus groups and dig deeper to understand what some of those themes look like, or what type of perhaps action items or values can come out of that. So we started to do that in the winter time. And in January, monthly, we would come back together with our administrative team, and we would bring new information and synthesize it together and start to flush out what were some of the benchmarks or the goalposts that kept looking as to be real priorities. And so that helped us, as you can see, in the late winter and spring, shape our vision and mission, and then later on in that March and May time, what were some of those priorities that really stood out? So we'll share a little bit of that. Today, obviously, we're presenting to you a little bit of the draft framework. And then, of course, we'll have some opportunity that we look to do some collaboration in getting ready for an August publish to our school community.
So we asked the community, including students, parents, community leaders, many people in our community, some questions about what they want to see. And the things that we asked were around their desired priorities. What should our school focus on? Our main purpose as an educational institution, what should that be? And then what would be our strengths and what would be our challenges? So we opened that survey. We used Qualtrics, which is a metric-based survey system where you can track those responses in real time. You can get some good data out of Qualtrics about trends and how that is looking with all of the survey results that you get. And so we had 3,000 participants in our survey, and you're going to just see a small snippet from Qualtrics of what that shows. So the first thing that we asked was, what should our priorities be for students? What should happen? And you can see here, these are all relative. So we asked people to kind of rate them on like a scale, and they all came above 4 out of 5. So then we said, well, we need to dig a little bit deeper. Let's look at this and see how many people rated this the highest priority to the lowest priority, and we arranged it here. So you'll see that critical thinking and academically proficient came out as the top 2, followed by socially and emotionally aware, personally responsible, career and college ready, down to civically engaged. But again, that is within the context of our community telling us that these were all very important. We didn't have anything that came out under a 4 out of 5 on an importance scale. So we had to do a little bit more digging to say, well, okay, within that context, which ones are important? And so this is what that data looks like. So then we said, well, what's our main purpose? And we asked people to do just a little bit of a short answer narrative. And you can see here from this word cloud, these are the words that came out the most out of that qualitative question. And you can see here right in the middle of that word cloud, prepare students academically, educationally, for the world. You can kind of see that cloud come together as we looked through those purposes that were defined to us by the community. If you come here to our key strengths, you can see that word cloud get a little bit more consolidated with what people were saying about things that our school district might really be a good support to the community and to the students in our community. So you can see here, just some of that data. Now we have a lot of data, pages and pages and pages, and we're giving you a small snippet of that data, but for board members who might want to look through that data, we certainly have pages and pages that you could look through. And we have done that work as an administrative team to synthesize this information that you're about to see with the pillars and priorities. You can see here what that word cloud looks like for the main challenges. Now again, the bigger the word, the more often it appeared within the survey itself. And so you can kind of see our main challenges. People talk about size a little bit. I think, being a large district, school, like the number of schools we have, really focusing on some student behaviors. Those came out as relative challenges. And then we're going to move on to, after we put all of that together, to our theme for RAMS 12.
Yes, and so I have the pleasure of talking a little bit about themes. So as you could see through the previous slides, that there were some words that definitely stood out, and where that took us and landed us at a common overall theme where we have learn, connect, contribute, succeed. So that will also blend us into our mission for the district and what we propose here and our RAMS 12. But as you can see, Rockford Public Schools is committed to fostering a rigorous, cohesive learning environment that challenges and supports each student, equipping them for success now and in the future. So with that mission, we're going to, as Dr. Matthews had mentioned, live into our vision, and as we move forward, our vision. Rockford Public Schools will be a community of educational excellence where students are challenged to think critically, act compassionately, and succeed boldly. So as you review these, you will see that there are common words that have led us to the theme and mission and vision for RAMS 12.
So then as we build some of the pieces of the vision and mission, we're continuing this process of getting more granular and thinking more about specific action steps. So we started thinking about what are some of the big pieces that came out of the community input, and we've developed some pillars and priorities that, again, will build into our larger purpose as a school district. So we'll go through a few of those now. First, I'd like to show you what pillars resonated or kind of were flushed out through the consolidation of information. You can see 5 of them here. At the core purpose of a school is, the academic preparation of students. So the first one is academic excellence, followed by wellness and preparedness, social responsibility, and community engagement, collaborative culture, and then, are we a strong organization, and so our organizational effectiveness. What you'll see is that, when you think of across our district, there's many departments represented in each of the pillars. And so we also think about how we are preparing students by engaging in some action items under the pillars. We also feel like it's very important that the information or the steps that we write under the pillars are measurable. So when we think about our goals, we'll be able to say, did we make progress, where or why not, or what is our target, where and what other tweaks can we make? And then, of course, we also always want to be student-focused with our work. So what we'll do now is maybe go through each of the pillars and share a little bit of some of the priorities that are identified under the pillars. The priorities will suggest where we're going to do some writing of specific action steps. And so they help further define those pillars. The first one we'll look at is academic excellence, and you can see 4 pillars under the academic excellence. So high-quality instruction, career college readiness, critical thinking, and diverse offerings. So go back to that data that we showed in the survey information, and immediately here you can see how some of that's already implemented into the pillars and into the priorities, and additional into the action steps as well too. So again, what's really clear is that connection between the voices that were listened to and how that has informed this thinking. So again, Under those, you'll see our favorite word here, guaranteed, or favorite phrase, guaranteed viable curriculum, right, as being one of our specific focuses, and then across the pillars, other items that we'll be able to build some action around. So I'll let you take a moment and read that, and then we'll switch to the next pillar.
So the next pillar is wellness and preparedness. And just to work through the lexicon a little bit, the pillar is the big one, right? Wellness and preparedness. And then the 3 columns that you see here, each one has a heading. That's the priority, right? So each pillar will have certain priorities like Mike was describing. And then the part that we're going to need some collective work with our board is around how these goal areas get shaped out underneath each priority. So for wellness and preparedness, really we're thinking around the idea of student well-being. How do we provide for the whole child? What does that look like? What type of mental health supports do students need today and in the future? We think about relevant social skills, including what that can look like when we are using positive behavior supports, which is something that we've talked about here a lot through the MTSS process. We also think around employability skills, and this is a highlight that we heard a lot from our focus group with community leaders. When we brought community leaders to the table after the surveys were completed and we said, talk to us about what you need. They highlighted employability skills, and we heard that echoed by parents, we heard that echoed by staff, and so we think around what we can do in this area to help prepare students for their future, whatever that might look like, knowing that the pathways for students open up significantly as they age through a system. So that's wellness and preparedness, and again, we'll get down to those priorities and goals with board input.
Yes, and I'm going to speak about social responsibility and community engagement as far as this pillar. So under this social responsibility and community engagement pillar, we've identified 3 areas that really, or priorities that really resonated and came through in the survey responses. And so when you look at these, global citizenship, equity, civic engagement, and community involvement. So the idea was around a little bit more about the next steps for our students after graduation. So, you know, how are we going to help our students succeed at the next level? School-to-school partnerships. We're going to prepare them to be cultural responsive adults and students as well. We're going to have them engaged in community-based experience to be able to collaborate with not only students within the school day, but also outside of the school day in regards to community-based experiences. So community service and things of that nature that have been identified in that column number 3 beyond the walls of the school day. So how can we build them up for that next level through global citizenship, equity, civic engagement, and community involvement?
And our next pillar talks about our collaborative culture, and so there's been a strong belief in the idea that, you know, the power of us, we've used that before, right? But in the idea of harnessing the talent that is in our school community through structure and dialogue and honoring people's gifts and abilities. And so that's kind of the root of where this pillar is born from. So we know that we have staff that are in front of students every day, so that becomes one of our priorities and how we invest in our staff. We also know that we have partnerships with organizations outside of the walls of Rockford Public Schools, and we think about how we can make sure that we are being better partners with parents around communication, or thinking about attributes in our community that we can leverage for student experiences, and so how those partnerships can generally benefit the students and the influence of Rockford Public Schools. And we think about the belonging environments that we're creating for all students. You know, what are our school cultures like? Is it happenstance? Is it because of, you know, some programming that we're doing that it's intentional? How are we ensuring that all students feel safe and welcome, and making sure that all have a place and and a true belonging to Rockford Public Schools. So that's a big piece of, maybe some of the components that we necessarily can't always grab and see, but the feel is so important in getting the best benefits for our staff and students.
And then the last pillar we have here is organizational effectiveness. And so we want to think around the things in our district that might be a little bit behind the scenes. Things like financial health. How do we maintain a healthy district financially? Are we putting protocols and are we making decisions using data that we might have? How do we ensure that we're good stewards of the resources that we have been given through taxpayer dollars? What does that look like? So financial health is an important part of that. We heard a lot from the parent group specifically that navigating the varied systems that we have is quite a challenge. You have to go here to pay this bill and here to pay that bill, and you have this login and that login and the other login. And so thinking around how we can consolidate for consumer usability is an important part of our organizational effectiveness specific to RAMS 12. So something you see on here is like the consolidation of a payment platform. How do we clarify our communication platforms to our parents? How do we simplify that? What can that look like? And then of course, Rockford has been a leader in safety and security, and how do we ensure that our learning environments are as safe as they can be, physically and also socially and academically for students to continue to make really good progress in the system. So organizational effectiveness might not be the most glamorous of the pillars, but a really important pillar to make sure that our district continues to head in the right direction. And I think with that, those are the 5 pillars and then the priorities underneath them. Like we said, we're going to have some next steps for the board, and I think I'm turning it over to Dr. Matthews now to wrap it up.
So tonight, the board has been presented with a draft of the next iteration of the Rockford Action Model for Success. This RAMS 12 draft identifies our vision, mission, strategic pillars, and priorities. The theme has been developed that highlights and summarizes and focuses us on key ideas. As we have emphasized, the goal is not to create a shiny new document that will sit on a shelf or have a link on the website. Instead, we are hoping that RAMS 12 will have a continuing transformative impact on what the priorities of our district will be as we look ahead, as we work to build the district that our students, families, staff, and community need. Between now and October 12th, we will work with the board to review, discuss, and modify this draft as needed. RAMS 12 is our opportunity to dream of who and what we can become and to find ways to live into that dream. I look forward to continuing to work with the board on this RAMS 12 draft and to bring this back to our community in August for approval. And so over the next several weeks, we'll ask small groups of the board to meet with the administrative team and to kind of discuss these, the vision, mission, and priorities and pillars, and identify what's missing, what we might need to emphasize or tweak, what we might need to eliminate if there are such things. And so between now and August 12th, we'll have a series of meetings together, and then on August 12th, we'll come back with our final draft that we would ask the board to approve.
Thank you, Dr. Matthews. Any initial questions, comments? Yep.
Yeah, I had told Dr. Matthews about my disappointment on, with the board's involvement to this point. And again, this is fine work. I haven't taken umbrage with, the semantics of it. I just felt that the board, really only is supposed to do 4 things. One is hire and evaluate the superintendent, be involved with the state mandated items, policy, our fiduciary responsibility, and then the big bucket, which is, it helps the captain steer the rudder, is the vision and strategy. And I just felt that the board, would have been more involved in the formative process of the pillars. And you and I have talked about that, but I'm patiently confident that what will occur between now and August will address some of those feelings that I've had, but I just wanted to make sure that, not everybody was in the room with me, and this is our only opportunity since, you know, we've kind of seen some of these things laid out. But I just want to say that I'm patiently confident, but we'll see. I know, you know, the month will be over really fast. So I'm hopeful that we'll get that done.
Thanks, Nick. Anyone else? Yeah.
I just wanted to say that I really like how the framework has sort of been restructured to be like using more words that are student centered, and you know, there's the themes are, I think, largely the same, but when you put them in this, you know, the student centered language, I think it's easier to sort of formulate those goals and action steps to achieve those goals. So I just wanted to say that I think that what you've done so far is pretty awesome. And then I just had a question regarding the Rams 11 plan. Like, is there an inventory of, you know, some of the items that the district has broadly wanted to implement from that plan that is, you know, like there's certain things that are still kind of hanging out there that either the district has maybe gone in a different direction, or you know, some of those things weren't feasible given, you know, whatever conditions. I'm just curious to see, like, because going through Rams 11, I see there's a ton of stuff on the short term that's been implemented, which I think is awesome. I was just curious about, you know, some of the things that have not yet been implemented, and I know they don't always get implemented because it's such a, you know, it's very visionary. But I was just curious about that.
We can certainly come back to the board with kind of a summary of where we're at with Rams 11, and some of those things are being incorporated now into Rams 12 as well. So we'll certainly do that. We'll try to have that for the board in July at organization meeting.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, it's sort of, in my mind, I think it's a good point to raise, like, how do we transition from 11 to 12? Yep. What's getting done, what carries into the new plan, and where would it fit? And maybe what doesn't, because it doesn't fit based on the most recent feedback from the community and the like. So good question to ask.
Yeah, my questions were kind of centered around that too, like what we implemented this year and voted in. Have we taken a tally, like for trails, for example, that was social, emotional program, and how are those programs working? Do we need to evaluate those again? So just more specific program data and then feedback on that.
To piggyback also what you were saying, Tricia, I also liked when I saw the framework with pillars of priorities. That organization makes more sense to me than having things kind of departmentally siloed. So I appreciate, I think that makes sure that everything that we're doing hangs somewhere in that framework and ladders up to the mission and vision, and everything's cross-functional. Like, very few things get done in a silo, right? That's just not how it works, and so this reflects that. I think that makes a lot more logical sense. So I appreciate that. I don't know if anybody has anything else. The last comment I was gonna make was, I know this is a humongous undertaking, and I appreciate all the work and diligence around it. We are grateful to the community for all the survey responses and focus group participation, and I know we had community members that were part of committees and the like. So we're grateful for the community engagement in this, but just want to thank Dr. Matthews and the administration for all the work that's been done this far. We're excited to see this, and look forward to, I know we have an opportunity over the next couple of months to sit down and kind of go through it in more depth and detail, look at the underlying data and so forth. So look forward to that, those conversations, and but I think that's it for me, unless anybody else had anything they wanted to add. Okay, thank you very much. Good. Second item under reports then is committee reports. I don't think we've had any board committee meetings since the last meeting. That's what I thought. Okay, we were super active a month ago, but that's typical for this time of year. So we're moving on then to recognition of visitors. I want to take a moment to outline the guidelines for the public comment portion of our meeting. First and foremost, we value and welcome your input and feedback. We believe a collaborative relationship between our schools and the Rockford community is essential to achieving our shared goals. Public comment at the board meeting is intended to give the Rockford community an opportunity to address the board on issues in the Rockford Public Schools. At our meetings, the board and individual board members will not directly respond to comments or questions that arise during public comment, but may follow up through the superintendent. We ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes to ensure everyone has an equal chance to express their views. Please be respectful and avoid using inappropriate language or engaging in personal attacks. We want to create an environment where everyone feels comfortable expressing their opinions without fear of retribution or harassment. To ensure due process and respect for individual rights, the district maintains a formal process for handling complaints against individuals. If you have a problem involving an individual or a specific incident, we encourage you to consider addressing it through administrative channels by contacting the superintendent's office. Furthermore, we ask that speakers express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by your comments. While it is not our intent to stifle public comment, speakers should be aware that if your statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, you may be held legally responsible. If you are unsure of the legal ramifications of what you're about to say, we urge you to consult first with your legal advisor. We encourage you to provide constructive feedback and suggestions for improvement, which helps us improve our schools and better serve our students, families, and community. We thank you for taking the time to share your thoughts. We look forward to working together to ensure that our schools continue to be a source of pride for our community. Lastly, please remember that public comment in our board meetings is one way we hear feedback from the community. As we just went through, it's certainly not the only way. Those who prefer other means to communicate often do so via email, through the district website, or by calling the superintendent's office. When we call your name, please step up to the podium. Be mindful of the timer. Speakers are asked to address the board, not the audience or others in attendance. The audience is asked to remain quiet so speakers may be heard without interruption. With that said, our timer's ready to go. Up first, we have Brenda Wodarski.
Thank you for tonight. One of the questions I first wanted to ask is, where did you get the group of the 3,000 that participated in that survey? But I just also want to announce I'm so blessed that the appellate court, as we have told for many months, that was turned down by several of the members here, is going forward with all the board members that are on this lawsuit for the porn in the library. So each individual board member and Rockford Board of Education should have been served for that, as well as the porn in the library suit, which was sent to you guys on December 20th. So since the board is on this lawsuit for the Meade case, you all should have received that on December 20th because you all are board members or part of Rockford Public Schools. So any of the verbiage back from the lawyers is basically what you guys are saying. So that is so exciting that the Constitution is going forward, and verbiage was wrong in the last meetings that this was stopped. I also, many of you guys weren't on the board from 2021 to 22, which I asked repeatedly to bring in professionals, industrial hygienists for mask experts, PhDs for the shots, and wow, one of the guys was on trial last week. Do you recall when discussions relating to a 6-foot threshold began? Do you see studies to support 6 feet? I was not aware of studies that, in fact, that would be a very difficult study. Fauci said that. I asked repeatedly that we bring in, and I would bring in, different experts in the field, and you guys refused. But Fauci last week, there was not any studies. It would be a very difficult studies. How many of you guys watched that trial? Do you recall receiving any data or supporting masking for children? No, but I believe there are a lot of conflicting studies on that too. Some say yes, there is an impact, and some say there's not. I still think that's up in the air. Many of you guys were on that board during this time that I asked for industrial hygienists to come forward, and you didn't do anything. All we ask is that you follow our Constitution and our God-given rights, and you chose not to. You chose not to. But I especially love the exhibits presented in the Meade case. These are exhibits, so they're public information. between Heather Slater and Corey Wilson Crawford and Adam Burkholder, and talk about the Meade case. So like I said, this is all public information. Effectively, we treated it as a typo and fixed it because the direction we've been given is that legal documents have to have the student's legal name in them. This is a direction. Thank you, Jesus.
Up next is Charles Curtis.
Good evening. Since you're talking about policy, I think it'd be a great policy to have that you would refuse to transition students behind the backs of their parents, and that would be written into school policy and not require a lawsuit in order to affect that. Another one would be to get the sexually explicit books out of the library unless it comports with the revised school code. And it's too bad that, it takes a lawsuit in order to affect that. Now, what I'm going to talk about is the appeals court has opted to hear the lawsuit regarding pornographic books against RPS and each of you individually as board members. I hope you realize that this is a very serious matter. It's nothing to joke about. The court is way too busy to hear anything they don't believe has merit, regardless of any narrative the administration wants you to believe. You cannot afford to just go along with the official position. If you do, and RPS loses the case, you have a very real possibility of ending up a convicted felon, which will scar you for life. I have a copy of the lawsuit in case any of you need one and haven't read it, but please read it carefully and verify the laws and related penalties that can result from violating them. I don't believe you can read through this thorough summary of the law and come away without understanding you have violated both the revised school code and Michigan law, either of which is considered a felony. Please understand that no one filing this suit wants any harm to come to any one of you. It was filed as a last resort because this serious issue has not been dealt with effectively in a satisfactory manner by the administration. RPS has had plenty of chances to reverse course. The only intent here is to protect children from the proven harm these books cause. It is asking you to follow the law and the school code instead of breaking them, which you are now doing. You cannot afford to just do as you are told and rubber stamp whatever the administration and their attorneys decide. You are at personal risk, and you need to think critically and independently, not just go along with the pressure for unanimous consent. We don't want you to end up convicted felons. We just want you to do the right thing by having the courage to stand alone to protect children from sexually explicit materials. Don't continue to be pawns of a stubborn administration committed to denying there is a serious problem and who is actively fighting against corrective action. Thank you very much.
Okay, and next on the list is Andrea Jacobson.
Good evening, board and central office staff and administration. It's hard to believe, but we're already through the first week of summer vacation. It can be a challenge to find ways to keep our kids engaged during break and avoid the dreaded summer slide. My son never really enjoyed grade level workbooks in the summer, but there was one thing that he did love to do: read. Summer reading helps students of all ages maintain their academic gains from the school year while improving their reading skills, vocabulary, and comprehension. It also helps grow their overall knowledge base. For younger children who don't read on their own yet, it's just as important that someone read to them. Getting books in the hands of kids is not always an easy task for parents. The Rockford Book Bus is a great supplement to our local public libraries because the library comes to you. Thanks to REF, Sharon Wells, Rachel DeKuyper, and many others, the Big Blue Rockford Book Bus travels through the district all summer with stops in many neighborhoods and at other community locations. They put books in the hands of kids of all ages. The schedule for the book bus is on the district's website, and I'd encourage parents to check it out and see when the bus is coming to an area near you. And if you can't make it to the book bus, many of the KDL branches are a great opportunity too. They have many fun activities for kids and teens this summer. Tomorrow afternoon, the Rockford branch has a teen trivia event. Next week, Monday evening, they kick off the Rough Readers program with the West Michigan Therapy Dogs. And if you grew up around here, you might remember from your own childhood filling out reading logs at the library during the summer to earn a free pizza at Pizza Hut. You can still do that. Sign your kids up, you log it online, and they can earn all sorts of different prizes and that pizza. So we encourage you to grab a book off the book bus and start earning. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. And that's it for visitors tonight. Next is superintendent remarks. Dr. Matthews.
Thank you, Mr. Folsom. As was mentioned, the lawsuit about books in our library was originally dismissed by the court last fall. On May 29th, the appeal of this ruling was granted, and so the information that was shared at the last board meeting was accurate as of that point, but the appeal was granted on May 29th. There are several dates pending this summer, and we will keep the board and the community updated on the progress of those throughout the summer. As the final board meeting of the 2023-24 school year, I would like to express my appreciation to our students and staff for a successful school year. We continue to be a district that supports our students and supports the families in our community. Student achievement remains strong. Our professional learning community, the PLC process, is making a difference and continues to improve. New elementary boundaries were approved this year. New staff placements were made this spring. Student participation in activities remains high. We had a successful year in the arts. We had multiple first division ratings in solo and ensemble festivals in band, orchestra, and choir. We had 4 outstanding theater performances this year: Little Women, Mamma Mia, Silent Sky, and Newsies Junior. The Michigan Competing Bands Division I State Championship was won by our Rockford High School Marching Band. In athletics, we had multiple conference championships. We had multiple district and regional MHSAA championships, and we had multiple MHSAA Final Four teams. We also had state championships in girls rugby, individual boys diving, individual state heavyweight wrestling. The girls gymnastics team won the state championship, and girls and boys water polo both won the state championship. We also had success in Odyssey of the Mind at the state and international level. Most importantly, our school culture remains strong. We have a strong sense of community pride in our schools. Our students find a sense of community and belonging in our schools. Our community supports us financially and, most importantly, with their presence at our events and activities. Our community services program continues to be a well-supported and eagerly anticipated part of our school district. And the Rockford Public Schools continues to be a district where people want to be, and that provides our students, families, and community with a lot of which to be proud. And so at the conclusion of this 23-24 school year, I'd just like to thank our community and our staff for a great year.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Matthews. And with that, we're adjourned.